What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. So the last time I was on here, my mouth was kind of swollen and I was in the process of doing a reading, and the reading was so long, but I got it done. So this time I'm coming back with my mouth pretty much back to normal. Okay, so I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about doing this video. It's going to be really cool because I'm going to do like a slideshow voiceover. Okay, and it's going to tell you 5 reasons why you should get comfortable with apologizing. 5 reasons why you should apologize. This is coming from someone who really struggled with apologizing. Really, I struggled so bad with that, and I literally came to the conclusion that it is because my parents were very unapologetic people. They didn't really take they weren't accountable for their actions. It was pretty much like the blame game all the time. So I didn't really have a good example when it came to apologizing, understanding the importance of apologizing, understanding what exactly is happening when I apologize. Because for me, it was more so why do I need to apologize to you? I'm not sorry. It was more so like that. But as I got older, actually within a couple of years, better late than never though, right? Okay, so within the past maybe 3 years, but like I said, better late than never. So basically Sean had to teach me how to apologize. Not really how to apologize. I think I always knew how to apologize. It's just it was so uncomfortable to put myself in a position to apologize. Ugh. And that was before me. The new me, the new me is aware of apologizing, the importance of apologizing, and what apologizing is actually for, what it does for you and what it does to someone else. So yeah, that's what this video is about. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. By the way, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and so you don't miss out, hit the notification bell as well. I would love to have you here on my channel connecting. So comment in the comment section either now, let me know that you're watching, or at the end of this video, and let me know if these 5 reasons were helpful to you. Did you know them or didn't you know them? Did you learn something, or do you feel like you're more ready to apologize? But yeah, so I'm going to be doing a voiceover, so this is just a video intro of me here. Yeah, so you guys can see me. You can see my smile is back to normal. I'm really excited that okay, you guys, so yeah, enjoy the video and I will be gone.
Let me just start off by saying, once upon a time, I was really hard to deal with because I was not up for apologizing. Apologizing made me so uncomfortable, and which made me hard to deal with because, when you're not able to apologize, that makes it seem like you feel like you're never wrong, or but the reality is you're just unable to hold yourself accountable, and for me, it was just something that I've never had to do, growing up, or, I was never made to do it, and I was never made to, taught how important it is to apologize. So I was not even willing to apologize. No matter what it was really rare if I did apologize. It's not that I thought, like I said, it's not that I thought I did nothing wrong. It was more so that it made me so uncomfortable that if it was uncomfortable, I just wouldn't do it. And that's just how I was. Now, my parents can only be blamed for so much, because eventually you become an adult. And then at that point, you realize that you're just full of pride, you're stubborn. And because of your hardcore programming, that this is why there's such an imbalance between being accountable and just not doing the right thing by apologizing. So this caused such an uproar in my personal life, as you can imagine. Arguments literally lasted a couple of days longer simply because I wasn't up for apologizing. Things kind of got swept under the rug and kind of gotten forgotten, and then a couple of days later everything is calmed down enough to where a new page, we can start over. But then, the cycle would repeat itself because, I wasn't really willing to apologize. Another big thing, as far as my problem, it was that growing up, I never personally got an apology from, situations where I had been hurt. People hadn't taken accountability for, for their, for them, for the pain that they had caused me. And so, not ever getting apologies, definitely takes a toll on you. You begin to start thinking and feeling a certain way. It had actually got to a point where, one point in my life, I was too apologetic, where, I was apologizing just for simply existing and for being, and that's how I kind of, grew up, just this out in the back apologetic person. And then as I grew up, I kind of like hardened up a little bit, where I was unapologetic, but not in a really good way. It was more so where I got tired of being the blame. So even when I was at fault, it's just like I'm always the blame. Like it's always me. Like I'm always doing something. I'm always wrong. Like it's always me. The blame is always on me because I'm always having to take the blame. And it became that, and it's like I'm tired of being the blame. Someone else needs to apologize. And, that was just I'm thinking about it now, and it was just like, it's so unhealthy. It was just so unhealthy, and I'm very, very glad that I'm able to, be apologize when necessary, and put my foot down and stand up for myself when necessary. And that's something that I've definitely learned a lot, and I'm really just super grateful that I was able to do that, because man, I'm talking about it now, and this is really like honestly like a self-reflective moment for me, because wow, yeah. And not being able to apologize didn't only affect my relationships, it affected me as well. I felt so lost and confused and hurt, and because it's like I feel like I should apologize, but it's so uncomfortable that I just couldn't. It was that bad. And so I began really working on myself, because it's like I couldn't apologize to other people, and you can only imagine like how hard it was to apologize and forgive myself, because it's like I said again, like in my 27 years of life, it was something that I hadn't gotten from the people that had hurt me. So becoming this person that apologizes and is accountable for not only my actions and my feelings, but as well as someone else's, like that is something big. And so shadow work and inner child work definitely helped me here. And I had to, really ask, why was I so uncomfortable with apologizing? And like I was saying throughout this whole video so far, like I discovered that throughout my childhood, nobody ever apologized. Nobody ever took accountability for the things that was happening in my life, and it was always because of someone else. Nobody was accountable. And that is what I learned, and that is what my actions reflected as well. But I've learned how to just literally start practicing apologizing. Whenever I thought I should apologize, before I could think myself out of it, I'm sorry, I apologize. And then I started getting very specific, like, what am I apologizing for? Why am I just saying sorry? And I started to get specific in my apology. I'm sorry, I might have overreacted. I'm sorry because I took that wrong, and I'm sorry because I acted that way. I'm really starting to just apologize whenever I felt like I needed to apologize. And now I'm someone who apologizes more often. This is exactly why I am bringing you 5 reasons why you should apologize, because maybe you're like me, or maybe you're not like me, but you know somebody like me. Either way, I think these 5 reasons would definitely help you, because they've helped me put a lot of things in perspective. So, reason number 1, it can de-escalate a situation and open the room up, or make space, if you will, for proper communication. Now you are aware that their intentions wasn't to hurt you. You're also aware that you probably took something personally that wasn't meant for you to take personally, also known as a trigger response. And if you don't know what that is, basically a trigger response is when you take something based off of your experience and react off of that. So I don't really have an example off of the top of my head, but it's basically like when someone when you take something the wrong way, or when someone takes something that you said, which is very plain and simple, they take it wrong, and that's simply because they took it personally based off of their experience. I hope that example makes sense, because that's literally the only thing that I can think of. So my second reason is that it makes you personally feel better. Owning up to your own BS, owning your own SHIT, being the responsible person, being the one in the room at the time that is responsible for peace and communication. That is awesome. Reason number 3 is that it could possibly repair a relationship, or it could simply make the situation better. Like I said in my reason number 1, it creates, it makes space and it clears up the room, because obviously there was somewhere down the line, there was like a misunderstanding, or, it got a little bit too serious, got a little bit too heated, words were said, but, either way, there needs to be room for, apologizing. And when you apologize, you could literally like either repair a relationship or just make the situation better. My reason number 4 is it provides healing for not only you, but for someone else. Because what you're doing is you're recognizing the hurt that was caused by you, or vice versa, and it shows empathy, and it also validates you or someone else's feelings. Because a lot of the times when we're unwilling to apologize, that lets the other person know that how they feel doesn't matter, or how they feel is justified, or vice versa. And finally, my 5th reason is it enables forgiveness. Yes, I said it. It makes forgiving easier. When you're apologizing, or when someone is apologizing to you, when someone is apologizing to you and you're able to accept their apology, not only are you being the bigger person, but you're opening up your heart space to forgive, making you a forgiving person. Because you're either a forgiving person or a grudge holder. And I am someone who used to be a grudge holder, I will take to the grave this grudge type of person. But I realized that holding a grudge literally only hurts me. It takes power away from me. And so back to that is, you enable forgiveness. You make forgiving easy. You realize mistakes and misinterpretations happen. And based on perception, that's how you take in information, based on your perception and your experience. And that's how you take in information and conversation. When you begin to put yourself in this forgiving space, or when you're in this apologetic atmosphere, that helps you to also see the bigger picture, because you only have tunnel vision. It's only what this person did, or vice versa. It's only what this person did. But when they apologize and they take accountability for their part, you're able to see the bigger picture of the situation. So yeah, you guys, let me know in the comments if this was helpful to you at all.